What do you think of, like, the evolution of comedy in terms of...
I was glad that.
Like, how back in the day, it was a case of, as you said, getting bad jokes out the way, having bad times, and then from gig to gig, and eventually you gain more momentum and such. Whereas a lot of comedians now are using social media as a platform to, like, don't get me wrong, I know that a lot of them are still doing gigs because a lot of them still are gigging because that's a way to get them noticed, but it kind of like gives you a little like turbo booster, so to speak.
So, okay, several ways to attack this, but I'll do them quick, easy. Number one, people that do stuff online, not all of them do stand up, and the platform is great to be able to get yourself out there. No issue with it at all, because I use it myself. Luckily, I kind of started just before social media took a boom, where you could put yourself out there and then start really promoting yourself as a comedian. But then I'm young enough to utilise that as well. So I benefited from both sides. I've understood the discipline of what's needed when you go on stage, whilst also knowing that whilst I got that discipline, I still got social media that I can do stuff on as well. Funny videos if need, just to keep my followers happy. And I'm young enough to still be engaged with them. You're not going to get many in their 40s and 50s starting to really tap into social media. Comedians that do both, or even start on social media, do your thing. There's many that have started social media and got that boost, and gone onto stage. Normally what happens is you'll find that when they go on stage, not as funny as when they're on social media, because again, you have to train on anything. You have to go on stage, you have to put in that work to understand what it's like to talk to an audience of people in front of you, to tell a joke once and it bang, rather than be able to say, oh, no, don't like that, let me re-record that again. So it's just about understanding that you get the popularity on this, but when it comes to being on stage, it's a totally different dynamic. And when you said turbo boost, first thing that came to mind is, you're gonna laugh when I say this, but Pokemon. When you ever used to play it?
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember when you could get rare candies and keep leveling up your Pokemon so they could evolve quicker?
Yeah.
That's
the game, isn't it?
That's the game, yeah. But when you did that, when they evolved quicker, they still were as weak as what they were at the level that you had them, because they never gained the experience points by going out, fighting, battling, losing, winning. Yeah. And I feel like if you're not going out there and putting yourself out there, no matter how quick you get that turbo boost, which I've seen happen to some comedians or people that do comedy on social media, if you try and do the thing of boosting yourself on here first, it's going to be harder for you when you go on stage, because people, imagine you're on social media and you get 30,000 followers on here and they're like, oh my God, you're funny, I want to see you live. But you ain't done live before. When you do live, not only is it a new experience for you, there's a whole bunch of people that are going to watch you going, I have high expectations of you because I follow you on here. When that happens, it will show its arse. There will be that gap between their expectations and your ability, because you can't cheat that. So, I never put no one down who has started on social media, because it's a great platform to get yourself out there, but don't get caught in that trap of only doing social media because the likes are there and it gasses you up. If you want to do comedy on stage, and some don't, if you don't, then don't do it. But if you do, get on that stage as quickly as you can. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
As well, it's like, I've noticed that in England we have more comedians, and in America there is a trend of people just making funny videos.
Yeah. So when you asked earlier who's better, I couldn't really answer it, because I feel like America ain't really got too many new comedians that I know about.
It's like a lot of American videos, they are funny, but they haven't got the ability to relate to them in some of them, because some of the little videos they make, they're so abstract, and it's just that. It's like, I laugh at that once, but I can't laugh at it again.
There's I think the reason for that is for us, it's because for what they do is they're doing it for them, for their people around them.
Yeah.
They're the Americans that are around them that understand some of the little things that they do in there that we might have missed.
Yeah.
That add to the joke. Like, so one guy who I follow, I think he's hilarious, but it took me a while to kind of see it. Is Rennie? Do you follow Rennie?
Yes, I do.
Oh my God!
Yes,
and then he
yes,
sings in it, right? Or he does. There's one video he put up, and recently it was him getting a tattoo. But he was whining in the chair and stuff, and it would zoom into when he gets a tattoo, but the needle would hit him, and he would go, nah, and then keep whining and stuff. And I looked at it and I was like, there's some stuff I find funny that I didn't necessarily find funny because maybe I might have missed something that apparently is funny out there, or there might be a theme that he does that I'm not as tapped into as everybody else is who follows him directly. But because he's got so much followers and because he is funny, it's not taking it away from him, people are going to go, yeah, that video was hilarious because they're invested in that person. And
that's the thing.
Do you see what I mean?
I was going to say, it's like, is the investment in the person... I know it sounds like I'm biased. I can accept that.
Is the investment what makes it more funny?
Is the investment in the person bypassing the actual comedy?
In essence, yes and no. It bypasses the comedy because now when you're invested in the person, not saying they choose this to happen, but just by nature, if someone's invested in you, you will have people that will just find you funny because
it's you.
They already like you.
Yeah.
So the pressure to be funny is lowered because they already know that you're funny. They're like, yes, we're with you. We are already a fan. But then you should turn around and say, just because you're invested doesn't mean I'm about to slack. I need to keep my stuff up to the quality that made you invested in me in the first place. So that's down to the individual. If the person says, well, I'll just put out whatever and if it's funny, that's them. But they should want to keep up that level to what it was when the people got invested in them in the first place. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So when you see like, said Mo the comedian, is he like a rare breed then because he can do both?
Mo's
he's been working for years.
Yeah, so me and Mo, he's a close friend, a comedy friend as well. I mean, we're not talking just since he blew up, people have known him. There are tours that we've been on together where it's me, him, and 5 other comedians have run it tours ourselves. We've done university tours together. We've done shows where it's me and him having to do a drive up somewhere crazy and not seeing big money, but because we need to make sure we get there and save on travel. So when I tell you, I know his journey thorough. I know how long he's been doing this. The reason why he's as successful as he is because he put in that groundwork and then he found something that worked for him on social media. And when that blew up, he was consistent doing it again and again, and it was consistently funny. He kept the levels up there. And then what was great is that when his management and him sat down and said, let's do a tour because this is the best time for us to do one, he already had content and the ability to write more content.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Do you see what I'm saying?
He's got the stage experience and the social media thing.
But the stage experience came first. Yeah. I mean, I've been doing it for 8.5 years, so he's been probably 10 years now. I think it's about 10 years. If I'm 8.5 years, he's about 10 years. He started just before me. Or around the same time as me, whatever the time is. So he's put in that, he's paid his dues on stage, he's delivered on social media, and that popularity, he's been able to turn into more than just seeing me online. It's, all right, you've seen me online, come and see me live. Yeah. He's been able to give them, I mean, remember new fans who only see him from social media will go, I want to see him live, and not realise that he can go on stage and give you 10, 8, 9, 10 years worth of experience. And to them, that's new. That's like, oh my God, I did not know he could do this. What they don't know is he's been doing this. So he deserves that bust, you see what I'm saying? Because you've been paying that dues. But there are many of them like that. There are many of us out there that are capable of doing great online and also great on stage. There are, I wouldn't say many, I would say there's quite a good few. But it's not as easy as everybody who just goes online, you're going to bust, and then they're going to now see what you're capable of doing. Some people are not great at doing videos online. Some people are great, and that's where the popularity comes from. I always compare it as online videos and social media entertainment is like a blockbuster movie, whereas a comedy show or on-stage comedian is like a theatre show.
Yeah.
What it takes for you to do theatre takes probably a lot more time, practice, and is a lot less polished in terms of the finished product. It is what you deliver needs to be polished. So if you want it to be a polished performance, it has to come from you. Whereas online, like a blockbuster movie, can come from editing, CGI, retaking shots. Yeah. But blockbusters tend to be a lot bigger. Even though it probably is a lot less in terms of the performance, it's more to do with everything around it. So I think if you can find a nice balance of both, like, I don't know, Patrick Stewart, who's been great as Captain Jean-Luc Picard in Star Trek, as Xavier in X-Men, but then also he started in theatre and can go back to theatre. Yeah, that's why he's got a knighthood, is because he's a Don all the way around. Yeah, if you can do that for comedy, like what Mo's done, then you're on a winning formula. Do you see what I mean?
I've seen him twice, man, and I think the thing that hit for me was I saw one of his videos and I was like, "Yo, my man's funny, you know." And then I went back. Yeah. And you saw all the consistency. All the consistency. And because on so many of them, I could relate to it. I could relate to it because my age group relate to it because you've seen it. And it's a case that once you're invested and he makes characters you remember.
And so he delivered. One thing I'll give him so much credit for, he delivers them so well. Yeah. Like the Roadman. Yeah. Blood. Come on. Yeah. We all know a guy like that. We all and the geezer. I would say the geezer. I don't know many geezers that are exactly like that, but he's created a character that I believe him. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? He's on another wave when it comes to making these characters.
And it's like seeing him on stage, because when I went to it and I bought my tickets early and I was like, I'm going. And one of my friends is like, I want to go, but I don't want him to like not be as funny as his videos. Yeah. And I said, nah, I'm going anyway. I'm gonna support the thing in it. Yeah. So I'm on it. Yeah, I'm going. And then when I came back, I was like, fam, you missed out. You know,
it's serious, isn't it?
It is. Serious. Honestly, I was in stitches. Like, he's that funny,
bruv. You know how proud. Like, we're talking like this is man them when it comes to,
and that's the thing.
So proud,
and that's the thing, because you relate to him in terms of he's just like one of us. I look at him and he's like, you're just like one of the brethren.
I remember, so I did what was it? I was the warm up act for Big Narstie show, and when we was on that, even though the show coming together it was nice to see Narstie get his own platform and nice to see all the guests come on and just how the show kind of pieced together. If there's one thing, if you look on social media that people definitely have highlighted, that even though it's the Big Narstie show, very much both Mo and him. Yeah. And even when Narstie kind of hits at Mo's a comedian. The clapbacks he gives.
Fast, you know.
Do you see what I'm saying? What? The clapbacks he gives.
You know what the thing is though, yeah? I was watching last week's earlier, and I felt sorry for Narstie, you know, because like his clapback was so quick and it was hard. I was like, fam,
was it the Peppa Pig one?
Yeah.
Bruv, I saw that all over Twitter because I never got to see it live, innit, at the time. Bruv, I saw that all over Twitter, fam.
And then he said something back now, and he says, fam, you look like a clitoris.
I've seen, there was one where he said, there's one where they were talking about food that they could be like, and Thing said, I thought I'm a something chocolate. I think I'm like a strawberry sherbet or whatever. That's what Narstie said, or something like that. And Mo went, bruv, you're a chocolate muffin, blood. Look at you, fam. Or better yet, there's one where they switched sides on the sofa because Narstie sat next to a girl or a woman who'd won loads of money. He was like, what? Let me try to chat her up for a bit of banter. And then Mo got off the sofa and said, all right, well, I'll be you. And he sat on the chair as Narstie. and he embodied Narstie quick.
Yeah.
He was like, Narstie were talking, and then what Mo would do is go, he. Alright, boom, yeah, fucking boom, right? So I know a man like that, you know, black, boom, in Brixton, yeah, like he was just embodying the like he's so quick off the cuff,
Yeah.
and that's why he deserves everything he's getting right now. Like, to see, bro, I've seen it, brother. It's so crazy. I've seen it from a graph level to like all of us sitting there going, like in the room, we'll be sitting there going, well, when's our next bus? What's happening with us? To see that.
Yeah,
fam, it's you have to. We watched the after filming one of the shows. Me and Mo went to watch the game, the England versus, was it Croatia?
Yeah.
When we got knocked out in it. Bro, I heard that passion there, fam.
That one hurts still.
It hurts, I know.
Yeah,
but me and him went to watch it in it was a building that was across the road from where the studios was. So one thing that I noticed, we walked in there, and where there was times that I walk places and people go, "Oh, Aurie Styla, wagwan," or "Oh yeah, you're the garage guy," or whatever they might do to recognise me and so on. We walked through that bit, and we could, like, every second was people from so many different demographics.
Yeah.
Just stopping Mo. Oh my God, yeah, a couple of cans and stuff like that. And at that point, because I've seen it where we've been in other positions where when my sniper thing was popular and was going viral and all over BBC and stuff, but we've been in positions where it could be it's the other way around, where it could be me and a few other comedy friends, and I might put on a show, but everyone thinks, "Oh, I want to see Aurie," and at the time you stay humble, but you accept that that's what's happening with you, bruv. I see it the other way around as well, and all I could do is sit there and go, "My G." Because it's nice to see someone's level who deserves it.
Yeah.
Climb like that. And everyone, but we're talking about big old men to young women and all sorts, saying, get a couple of cans in and stuff like that. And bruv, it's sick to see that someone who has grafted in comedy can get to that level.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, when you mentioned like the garage guy, does that get like jarring?
Nah,
even with like the whole couple of
Nah,
cans.
but you know what it is. You know what it is.
Don't you think more must be fed up of hearing a couple of cans now?
He probably is.
Yeah.
And like sometimes it's, do the sniper pose, and yeah, with the garage, especially with the garage crowd. Like, it gets a lot, bruv. Like, it gets a lot. And the garage crowd are dedicated to garage. So, bro, they're like, and they're like 32 to 50.
Yeah.
When I tell you, bro, they are dedicated. They're like the soca crowd.
Yeah.
Dedicated to their music,
so.
right? They see me, they'll jump into a sniper pose or get me to take a picture doing that. But I don't mind, because even though it can get jarring to know that that's what they want you to do, I can never take away that that's why, to them or to many people, that in 2014 my level went from here to there. Right? Because I can't take that away from it. So I'm just happy. It's the same like Mike Epps being Day Day from Friday. As much as it probably pisses him off, that people go, Day Day, it took you from here to there. So you always got to be thankful for that.
Does it have an effect on like writing future?
Nah, not at all.
You don't think, okay, well, let me do the shotgun scan?
Nah. Bro, I've had people that have followed that though and tried to do a dance or try to talk a reference around that because they see it and go, if it busts Aurie, it might bust me. The same way like when Michael Dapper did his thing, and then other comedians, some of them have been trying to write tunes, thinking, maybe I might get that bust as well, and it's got to be authentic. But for me, I don't write thinking, let me try to do another skank. Luckily, again, this is why the grounding of being a comedian before you get that bus on a public platform or social media, it makes you realise, as much as this might take you here and there, just remember where you come from, what your art form is. And that's, so I go on stage and I talk about family, I talk about relationships, I talk about working with kids, I talk about all sorts. It doesn't just have to be one trick pony. And that's because I grafted as a comic on stage before that bus come from, you know what I mean?